Hello everybody, this is Dr. Futch. Welcome to the Educator Researcher. I have a few things that I want to go over in this video that hopefully will help you this week and help you get started in the class. The document that you see in front of you, I'm going to attach to this announcement, and I've added some little extra information here that hopefully will help you this week and also help you throughout the course. First, I'd like to say that I spend a lot of time when I create my announcements each week, and I try to change them around and perfect them based on student feedback. So if you would please take the time to read the announcements, read them carefully, and as well as the resources I provide, because I think it's going to help you a lot in this course. Also, I provide as much personal feedback as I can in your short papers and your journal critiques, and also in your action research proposal. Some mistakes that are made on papers and other assignments seem to happen on a fairly regular basis. So I do have pre-written responses for those, so it may be appropriate for me to just drag them over to your paper when I'm offering feedback. So don't think that I'm not providing personal feedback. I just have, if there are common mistakes, I'm using some of those that are made on a regular basis. I'm just using a pre-written response. Also, even if you do not see me in the weekly discussions and you're wondering where I'm there somewhere, because I try to respond to at least 4 to 5 students a week. It's impossible with the large number that we have to get to everybody. So I make a really strong effort to try to get to each student at some point in the semester, but it's not going to be each week. But just know that I'm there. Also, please look over the guidelines and rubrics for the course. It's listed under course information. You'll see all the rubrics and so forth listed in there. But one thing I wanted to point out in regard to your rubrics for assignments, discussion, when you look at the proficient and you look at what is considered exemplary, if you are used to getting an A, if you're accustomed to an A, then you must provide some exemplary work, at least in some of the areas on the rubric. If not, a proficient will be somewhere between 85 and 87. And I know that it may not seem fair because you've met all the assignment requirements, but to earn that A, and again, I did not come up with these guidelines. I did not develop the rubric. That was developed by subject matter experts and so forth. But just to give you a heads up that if you want to earn an A, then you will need to provide some exemplary areas in your assignments. Also, I like to add a little personal touch to my announcements. You might see me mention Disney World or, because I am a Disney fanatic, so it's just to kind of let you know who I am and us to get to know each other. I don't do that as a means of taking the place of any instruction or any guidance. It's just to let you know a little bit about me. I love to hear about you guys too, so feel free to share. Also, I take my grading and my feedback very seriously. I spend a lot of time on this. I provide feedback, for instance, on a short paper. You'll have several weeks before another short paper is due. So that's going to give you plenty of time to look over all the feedback that I provided on that short paper and make any changes that need to be made before the next paper rolls around. The examples that are provided in this course, and I want to stress this as much as I can, these examples were preloaded. These are not examples that I provided. These were decided upon by the course developers. However, I do include extra or additional resources to your announcements. So please look over those. But I have no control over these other materials. Some of the examples are not perfect by any means. I might include first person or may not be in the proper APA formatting. And those are two things that I can't stress enough, and you'll see it time and time again, that on the graduate level you need to avoid using first person. You need to get used to that, not using I, me, or my. Try to restate whatever it is that you're trying to say. Try to restate it, reword it in a way that you're not using first person. And I also always provide APA formatting on this level. Again, the examples aren't perfect. They should only be used as a guide. If you follow my feedback and you complete everything and take the feedback and make changes that I ask for, then you'll do very well on these assignments. Also, staying with that, while the formatting and content might not be perfect, the links are sometimes not perfect also. I try to check these at the beginning of the semester, and I check, or the term, I check throughout the term and the beginning of each module to make sure that everything is pulling up. Sometimes they break down, so I put in a ticket. It might take a day or two to get them back up again, but know that sometimes these things pop up, and it is technology. We just do our best. Again, take my feedback, apply it. I don't mean this in a harsh way. I try to be as courteous as I can. It's only meant to help you. Any feedback that I give you is only meant to help you throughout the course. And then finally, if you need me, please email me. I respond several times a day. I check my mail probably 5 or 6 times a day. If you need to speak to me on the phone, if email won't do, email me and we'll set up a time. My phone number is listed under the instructor information. So I'm going to pause you for just a moment and go to the next item of business. Alrighty, this website is called OWL Purdue, and I'm going to provide this link in the announcement, and you'll see it frequently throughout the term. But this will give you all the information that you need to complete proper references. It shows you how to create a running head for your title page. It shows you how to format the title page. Abstract, you'll eventually get to that when you do your proposal. But everything that you need to know, proper citations, proper in-text citations. So please utilize this to make sure that you're using proper APA formatting. Okay, I'm going to pause you one more time. Okay, your first assignment for this week, other than the discussion, is a short paper that will be over whether it's worth the risk of physical harm or emotional harm for the greater good when we do research and experimentation. So I'm going to show you this example of a short paper. I consider this not a completely perfect example, but I would consider it exemplary if you're trying to reach that A status. So this student has provided a title page. It's not necessary to include all this, but you do need to include the title, your name, the university name, and you can include my name here. Make sure that you format the title of your paper correctly, meaning that you, capitalize your words. Also, if you're going to provide a header, make sure that the header is correct. You'll include running head on your first page. Running is capitalized, head is not. And then the title of your paper will be in all caps. Your papers will be numbered, or pages should be numbered. And then here, the mistake this student made, she's correct that you do not include running head on any other page except for your first page. However, this should have been in all caps. Now, it takes a little finagling if you don't know Word and don't know all the workings up here of how to insert a running head or page numbers. You may have to Google it. Unfortunately, I don't have time to explain that to you right now, but this should be in all caps. Your first paragraph, you want to provide an introduction to the topic and then finish off that first paragraph with a strong thesis statement. The thesis statement should have 2 to 3 topics that you want to cover in the paper, or 2 to 3 subtopics. Also, this student, when she created her thesis statement, she did put it in first person. Now I'm going to show you another way to word this instead of saying, I do not believe that. Although ethical research practices have resulted in significant gains for humankind, the greater good that comes from such experimentation warrants at certain times. There's a way to word that where you say the greater good that comes from such experimentation does not warrant at any time the unethical behavior of the study. Don't include I do not believe. You want to add validity to your paper, and if you use first person and you say I, me, my, it really takes away from the validity because it looks more like it's your opinion instead of fact. And you always want to back the facts up with cited works. Also make sure that when you use quotations in your paper, that this is a direct quote, that not only do you include the last name of the author, the year that the article was published, but you also include the page number. If you don't have a page number, let's say it's an online journal that you're using and all you have are paragraphs, then you would format it this way. If it's a page, if you do have the luxury of having a page and it's actually in a journal, then it would just be P period in your page number. And see here, the student, although this was cited in quotation, she did not include the page number. So you want to develop your paper using the thesis statement as your starting point, and then finish up with a strong concluding paragraph that sums up your paper. You'll also have a separate references page. The student has formatted everything perfectly. You want the first line in your citation to be over to the left margin, and then all other lines will be indented and it will be double spaced. You also, I want you to look to the Al Purdue about how to format your title. The first word in a title will be capitalized, but all others will be lowercase, unless behind a colon. If it's behind a colon, then you start with your capitalization again. Also, you capitalize all proper nouns. Okay, so I'm going to pause right here and go on to the next item. This is the rubric for the short paper. And notice it gives you the formatting guidelines here. It needs to be double spaced. It needs to be 12 font times Roman. You want 1-inch margins and discipline appropriate citations. That will be APA formatting. Since this is a graduate course, it should be 2 to 4 pages long. Also, I'll give you some brief information or you already have it in this week's announcement, the first announcement I provided about Turnitin and how to, if you've never used Turnitin. But I want you to look over this carefully. Some things that jump out at me: incorporates many scholarly resources and provides depth. You need at least 3 scholarly resources to get exemplary in this area. Also, including all the main elements. Read what is asking you and answer it specifically. Read the instructions. That would be including all the main elements and requirements. I'm out of time. If you have any questions, please email me. Good luck and best of wishes this week.